But listen to the end of the episode because me and Abstract have a big announcement.
Oh, yeah.
I know my audience is going to go crazy over, right? And I know that Abstract's fans and hip hop in general is going to respond to it in a way that I don't think has ever been done before. I think it's important. So stick around till the very end of the show. We got an announcement for you guys.
Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up! From the city to the burbs, every street, every curve, you can block what you heard. That's the cure. Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Wake the fuck up! Everybody wake the fuck up!
Welcome back to the show. You are now listening to Wake the Flock Up with Concept 714, and with me is no one. I am solo today when it comes to Wake the Flock Up team, but we do have a very special guest before I introduce him. We are here at a beautiful new, exclusive LA location, or official LA location now for the second time. Here at beautiful Align Gallery, right? You give me the address. You know the address?
5045 York Boulevard. That's 5045 York Boulevard.
In Los Angeles, California. Beautiful art gallery with a beautiful backyard, back area where they display movies and do all that good stuff. And we'll get into that a little bit later, right? So waketheflockup.net. You're going to listen to episodes like this one. Episodes like Rock Over Science, DJ Revolution, Master Ace, Planet Asia. We've also had Dembrick. We've had, shout out to the Team Backpack Tour who came down, and we had, Jeff Turner. We had Cahoon from, Strange Music. So we've been really blessed with all the artists that we've managed to get. And tonight we'll be crossing off the 13th, right? Yeah, 13th name. Off of our list, right? Again, I'm teasing the guest before we get there. Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. You're going to go check us out, like us, follow us. And the only thing we ask from you guys is that you tell a friend. Hey, check out this dope ass podcast. Check out this dope ass radio show. You know, Wake the Flock Up. Concept is doing his thing, and he's always having dope guests. And, you know, just show us some love. That's all we ask from you guys. You know, the show is free to the listeners. You know, we make our dough elsewhere with the sponsorships or whatever it may be, you know. So, but it's always free for hip hop, for the fans. Check us out, download us. That's it. I'm not gonna drag it on anymore because I'm very excited to get to our guest tonight. We have the one, the only, Abstract Rude is sitting here with us tonight. You're snoring. My intro was that bad. What's up?
Wake up like a Spike Lee joint, people. What's good? It's your boy Rude from the Project Flow, ATU Massman, A-Team Haiku Day Talk Crew. What's up,
dude? Like I told you when I met you, right? I walked in and just from hearing someone for so many years, right? And finally get to meet him, and I don't know if you come across this, but for me, it's been, I really get nervous because I have a mental picture of what the artist is going to be like, right? And I don't want them to break it because I would hate to meet someone who's like, I've been following to and listening to, and they're like a dick, or they're like, you know what I'm saying? Like they just completely ruin your perspective of them. I would hate that to happen. To be completely honest, it hasn't happened yet. All those people that crossed, I haven't met one person that I'm not completely still a huge fan of.
That's dope.
How's it been with you on your travels that you've been doing? Have you ever been excited to meet someone, right? Do you still get excited about meeting certain artists?
I'm excited to meet you, dog.
Oh, appreciate that. Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to meet everybody I come across with, especially somebody that could share information or life experience, or just a feeling of spirituality.
Right.
You know what I mean? But as far as artists, heck yeah. I'm still excited to meet everybody that I came up listening to. Anytime I get the pleasure to share a bill with somebody like KRS-One or, one of the greats, like, who did I share a bill with? Oh, Brand Nubian, and got to meet them backstage. And, just still seeing the OGs, seeing my homies that I've been getting it in with, all these years that have gone on to become great and, have a lot of fans. And, like how I know people that are on your list that you want to be on this show. And I'm looking at the list like, oh yeah, that's the homie. And you're like, man, if I can meet him. And I mean, that still makes me feel good when I see those people every time, even though we're homies. I still have that adulation and that respect for what they do with their art.
It is, so when I do anything that involves hip hop, I'm still very much that little kid in my mind and in my heart, I still approach things very much with that ambition and that like almost nerves of like, oh man, like I can't believe I'm going to get to go see Immortal Technique rock live or a Jedi Mind Tricks. First is that little boy inside me still that's like, okay, this is so dope. And then second comes that maybe for the show, it'll be like, okay, what's the best way to approach this as a journalist now? Like, as someone who's there to do a job, which is try to get this interview, right? That's the second one. But everything I've ever done for hip hop, it's always been as a fan. And I think that's only helped me down the line. I can't, you know what I mean? Like, I think the artists pick up on that. Like, they understand, like, okay, this kid really just is happy to meet me, first of all. Cause I am. I'm just like, everyone on that list is someone that I've either rapped their songs a million times already. I used to stay up listening to Nas when I was like 9, 10 and like write the lyrics down to like If I Rule the World and repeat them to myself, like that kind of stuff, So when I get to sit down with someone on that list, it's that much more of like an accomplishment. Like it shows me that I'm doing something right. Cause I'm no one. I'm no one, dude. Like I don't have a track record of, oh, he used to be big in the 90s, bro. And he has a radio show. Like I don't have that, right? I'm an MC. I'm just a local cat, but I have a passion. I have a real passion to kind of give hip hop back to the light in the only way that I can possibly do it. So at my age, I'm never going to go and rock a soccer stadium, and I come to terms with that. I'm fine with that, right? So this is my way of contributing to hip hop, right? By presenting the artists that I love so much in the light that I see them in to the people that have heard them, but haven't had that opportunity,
Exactly. Anytime I hear about shows with DJ Quick rocking and, CMW, Ice Cube, or, De La Soul. I remember the Rhyme Fest where Organized Confusion came together, and it was both of them. That I was just like giddy. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like they played Hypnotical Gases, and I was just in the crowd like, oh my God. It was like when I first heard it in 90, So, I'm right there with you on that. And, I find myself hipping younger artists to that stuff that I grew up on. You mentioned Nas. He had a song on one of his albums where he was mentioning, a bunch of like old school MCs. I think it was called Where Are They Now? And, that's what he was doing with that. So I think every true MC is still a fan. Mm-hmm. No matter how big you get, even if you're Jay-Z, you know what I mean? If he was somewhere and he heard about Freestyle Fellowship rocking, he'd be like, oh, Freestyle. That, I remember them from back in the day. They had the 6 Styles. I remember we was somewhere way out in Jamaica and Fat Jack ran into CeeLo and he was like, oh yeah, I know about AC Alone, Ganja K. So, we all like came up in this together and we're all fans of one another. And we keep that giddy spirit of being a fan too, Let me ask you this. When you get a chance to work with someone that you've listened to for that you're a fan of, right, as an artist, and let's say you get a chance to work with like a Rakim or those that on that level, right?
For you, who would that be first? Who would that be, that one person that you wanted to and you got a chance to, and it was like a line of accomplishment in your career?
I would probably say, like Speech from Arrested Development. He'd be the first one because he was the first one that was incorporating, a lot of the soulful stuff into the hip hop, sampling Sly and the Family Stone, interpolating it, adding in the like rap singing, like Lyrics Born calls the M singing, like MCN singing. So he'd be the first one, to be perfectly honest.
Did you lose? The reason I ask is, did you lose that little bit of fanship? And not in a bad way, but I mean, like, did now he become someone that's not this MC that you glorify? Did he come down to your level, or is it still very much like, man?
It's still like that, because Haiku in 2004 got to open up for him. We were on the Cali Com tour with Dale. We opened up for Arrested Development. Our tour did. And we all was out there in the audience watching their show, and it was amazing. And he was the professional that I thought he would be. And the whole band, the whole group got out there and showed all of us how you really put a concert on, on a high level. So that's another, just fulfilling thing, is to see your heroes live up to it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's really the payoff right there.
Like we were talking before, like I haven't met anyone on the list, right? Or has crossed their name off that disappointed me meeting them, right? But when I gave the list to Razkaz, right? And he looks at it before he crosses his name off, because everyone does it, but I'm like, hey, can you do, and I do it intentionally, because I'm like, look, if there's anyone you can kind of help us out with, we'd be forever grateful, right? And it's like 99% of the time they've been like, dude, yeah, I had a great time. Absolutely. Why not? Right? Which speaks to how cool of a person they are anyways. But he looked down the list, and I won't say who it is, but he looked at it, he goes, dude, be careful talking to this cat, because this dude, trust me, is not who you think it is, right? And I'm looking at it, and it's like one of them that has the star next to him. And I was like, dude, no way. Like, really? He goes, almost, should I not talk to him? He goes, no. You need that experience. Talk to him. But don't come in there thinking that you're going to walk away like with the same expectations once you really meet him, right? And to me, that's the one fear. That's really the one fear, but I think it's a risk worth taking, at this age. At this age, it's fine. Like, I think I could deal with that disappointment, So it's really become kind of like a Russian roulette type deal, but I have to take the risk, I think, When you're approaching, like, working with these artists, right? Is that something that crosses your mind? Are you willing to sacrifice that if that were the case? Or are you just like, you know what? Let's risk it and see what happens.
Well, I mean, I don't think about that. I get beats and I get ideas and I write to them. I don't really think about who I could get to, feature on it, especially someone that's not that accessible to me. On my new album, I have a lot of people. I have some people on your list. But, some of it was kind of deliberate, but only in the sense that we had intended to make songs before together. I kind of stay in my lane. But just to finish, on my list after Speech, I would say, I did get to fulfill. I did a song with Brother Jay from X Clan and YZ. And that was like, for me, a bucket list that was like two of the people to that would be answering this question. It would be dope if I got, some people on Twitter have suggested me, Q-Tip, and Ab Soul. It'd be like all the abs. And I mean, obviously for me, that would be sick if that got to happen. And then there's females I'd love to work. I'd love to work with Erykah Badu. I'd love to work with like Gawapale, Mystic, people like that, who just have like beautiful voices that we could like sing some awesome,
like a Jill Scott
stuff. Yeah, like a Jill Scott, and I'll come in with some lows. But I'd say Gawapale and Mystic because I kind of like know them and maybe out of them, Mystic is someone who I could actually end up working with one day, because we've like flirted with the idea, you know, like when we've seen each other in the past, but stuff like that. And I've been blessed to work with a lot of dope people in my career. And, you know, if you don't expect too much out of people, you know what I mean? From a journalistic point of view, when you're meeting people and want to interview them, that's one thing. But as an artist, I never expect too much from any other artist. Even if especially if he's grown to status, even if I've known him prior to, I don't expect some kind of old school reaction when he sees me. Now, if I get it, that's dope. That's love. That's pretty much how I am, how I would be, you know, regardless of whatever success. Just keep it 100.
You've had a very impressive career thus far, right? And you got no plans of stopping. Like you were detailing the next couple months of the year already. Like you already got a plan. Like, no, I'm not going to drop it here. I'm going to drop it right here, and then boom, deliver the knockout punch and blah blah blah.
Coup
like
de grace, baby.
you have it, but you've been one of these cats where like it's a consistent career. Like there's not a moment in time where I couldn't go and look up Abstract. Like you were never like Abstract. You were never like that one dude. Oh, remember Abstract? Man, what that dude was dope. Like no, it was always like, so Abstract is gonna move on to the next thing that he was doing, right? And that was one of the things that I think keeps you so relatable still, that the fact that you were never gone, you were moving around and all that stuff. What was your plan starting off? Like when you picked the mic up, I mean I'm sure you just wanted to rock just like everybody else, right? But when did it become apparent to you, like, dude, this is something now?
Honestly, from being snatched up pretty early and hanging around dudes that were like, you know, 3 and 4 years older than me, I went right into it, and being raised in LA, stone's throw away from Hollywood, and the industry was popping out here. I went right into it trying to become a signed artist.
Are we talking high school age?
Well, I mean, okay. When I was writing my first raps, obviously, I didn't never dream that I could, you know, officially become somebody really rapping on the mic out at clubs and stuff like that. Too young to be thinking about all that. You know, I was more impressed with memorizing rappers' rhymes, like you said, writing them down. But the rhymes I'd be writing down would be like Beastie Boys and, you know, LL Cool J and stuff like that. Believe it or not, Fresh Prince, you know, Def Jeff, Big Daddy Kane. So I was KRS. So I was BDP. I was studying all of that. And by the time I learned how to studying all that, I learned how to memorize rhymes really good and patterns. So then I could just listen to stuff and sort of memorize it, and I have to write it down. I could just memorize it, hear it, and then hear it, burn it out, hear it so many times to the tape snap, and then I just got it memorized. And then slowly, us going out to, you know, from high school dances and things like that into actual clubs that were being made available to us at the time. It was clubs like Joshua's, Club Nouveau, and then that bled into cats turning 18, then slowly getting into like Hollywood Live, and then Unity came about. There was The Good Life. As there became more outlets and spots for you to go to, you were able to touch it a little bit more. And so for Tribe Unique, for them it was like 18, 19, but for me I was 15, 16. So for them they were like, yeah, we could do this from a dancing perspective. We could at least be dancing for some known rappers. That was our first goal. Then it was like, well, Aaron, Ab, if you rapping, let's have you out front. That way we don't have to deal with all these shady rappers. And that was what we did. So that was a big just accomplishment for us, just to get me rapping out front, have us be ATU. Big up Zulu Butterfly, Ebony Prince, Irie Lion King, DJ Fat Jack. You know, that was the clique, man. So from meeting Fat Jack, from meeting the actual producer, because that's what happens. You go around the spots. We were just dancing and rapping out at a record store in Hollywood. We meet Fat Jack that way. And then through meeting him, he's like, I'm going to make demo on y'all. So we were too dumb to even really know what that meant. But him and his older brother in the production company, they schooled us. We met other artists like Minister Too Bad, AWOL One, Novelist, Zagu Brown, Mr. Grimm, Jazzy the Barber, Massive. We met all these cats, and then more cats came in, like the Ghetto Gods, DK Toon, Ice Smooth 7. And we were brought into this brotherhood of people trying to make it in the industry, and they had some inside knowledge, the inside track on how you can make your demo and make it and go get some of the money from these companies, from these Motowns, these Capitals, which we eventually signed to via Grand Royal, the Beastie Boys label. So that felt really dope, because like I told you, they was the first ones that I was writing down their rhymes. So that was surreal. And so, I mean, so to answer your question, I mean, for me, I first came into it definitely, you know, thinking really seriously, you know. So in that sense, I would have had to jump on a lot of cats who probably think about getting serious about it in their early 20s or even like early to mid 20s. You know, that's a trend I see more these days. So
you didn't receive a lot of friction from just life to go in this journey. Like, this journey was like at 15, that's very young to like have a set journey. And like when you follow that path, there wasn't a lot of fighting back from the path. It was
I had cats, and you know, not to cut you off, but I had to fight. I had to lie to my mom and say, can I borrow the car to go to Taco Bell? I was really going way to Hollywood somewhere. And coming back late, and she's like, where are you at? I'm like, oh, I was just down the street at OJ's house.
I was Taco Bell all day. It was delicious.
And she's like, eventually after a few times of that, she's like, well, no, you come park the car back. So I'm like, damn, now how am I going to get around this? And so maybe eventually then one of the other homies gets a car. So you don't have to, you don't have to beg, borrow, and deal the car no more.
So why not tell moms right away though?
Well, no, it became apparent because once it was older men, once they were really like, you got something, y'all got something, we can make money with it. They couldn't legally do anything with me without her permission.
So why not ask for mom's permission?
No, that's when they came in and had to talk to her. And that's when, to her, that's when it was real. Cause it's like, you got men showing up at your house to talk to you about your son.
Was she receptive at first?
Very receptive. Cause I mean, it's sort of in my blood. Like, my dad is kin to the Pointer Sisters, even though I didn't grow up knowing them or with them or have any privileges from being a part of their family. She, you know, there were signs. Like in 7th grade, I wrote a little say no to drugs rap. And the music teacher at the school called KJLH to come and record me, and it came out on the radio. And so she talked to her and was like, can I take him after school to go record this? And then we successfully did that. Actually, we recorded it at school on a little tape recorder. And then she asked, could we take him to a studio and record some raps? But it wasn't raps that I wrote. It was raps they had wrote. They took me and my boy Latif, because they gave us a project in class to write a song, and they put us in groups of 4. So I had wrote this rap, and I just broke it up into like 4 different bars, each of my homies. And so we won, and they were impressed with it. It was the Say No to Drug rap that I wrote. And
but what I'm saying is, you know, this is not a common thing, Ab, right? Like, this is not something like every 4th grader gets to. So hip hop was.
I was in 7th grade, but I mean, yeah, those, but see, that was what year was that? 87, 88. So rap was we all in the same gang was.
Hip hop was looking for you, bro. Is what was happening.
Well, when you know what I'm saying, like, your destiny, your destiny will meet you.
Which is a beautiful thing. And that, you know how you know you're on the right path the destiny wants you in? Because you don't meet tons of resistance down that path. Like, life kind of facilitates things for you, you know? And it does take work and effort and exercise and all that stuff. But eventually, if you're on the right path, you're not going to be met with a lot of resistance from life. Life is going to be good. You found it. Good. Now don't fuck it up. Go and knock and do me proud kind of thing, you know? And I think that's very much what's happened with you. Life was like, hey, over here, pay attention, point that way. And you found a phase and you just started running that way and life just let you go.
And that's the trip, is that when if you are God-given talented, then maybe sometimes you don't work as hard, you know? So it could be just as hard as having to work hard to become more talented through hard work and practice, you know? So, I mean, it goes both ways. Like, you could be raised with money and then fuck up really bad to cause your people to disown you anyway or not give you any kind of inheritance because you threw with money. They can't trust you with it. You know what I mean? So it's not always that easy to come up with money, but then, you know, you come up broke, you're working hard, you striving to get it. So you know, you're going to be there early. You're going to leave late. You're going to be twice as motivated. And then maybe you get richer than the person that just grew up with a silver spoon. So each journey comes with its own challenges. And yeah, me was definitely pushed into this direction at a young age and just ran with it. You know what I mean? Ran with it, still doing it.
It's a beautiful thing. That's a beautiful thing. So now, how have your travels been? Would you judge them thus far? Let's start just as an MC. How have your travels been so far?
Well, I definitely can't complain. Okay. You know what I mean? So far, good. Recorded in a lot of dope studios, performed on a lot of big stages, worked with a lot of well-known people and put out a lot of music and did a lot of those shows, you know what I mean? And like made a lot of impact, and so far so good. And I'm still building on the brand and kind of like, you know, capitalizing off all that, so to speak, because, you know, it hasn't been managed in the best way. I'll give it that. So there's been like a big volume of stuff, but maybe only a portion of it was managed the right way or even put out there the right way. So a lot of it you have to dig to find it. I Googled my name and it was like 960,000 items on the internet. Yeah. Which, I mean, that's pretty insane, right?
It's pretty impressive.
Like, so, and I mean, from my tablet, that was from my laptop. From my tablet, I Googled it and it was 596,000 like pages or some shit. So, I mean, that was crazy. Yeah. So, you know, there's a heavy volume of stuff that's out there. I definitely meant all of it. I meant all of it. I meant what I said. And I mean, that's one thing I can hang my hat on in my career, is that I can look back on the material I've put out there and be proud of it. Yeah. And I can look back and say that I meant it. Sometimes through the journey of being an artist, people cringe at hearing their stuff from 96 or from 2001 or from 2004, because they were going through stages more of growth and coming into their own, and they were working really hard and channeling, and they were following their destiny that they chose for themselves and decided that they wanted to express themselves in that way, and then eventually like found themselves and on their path found a lot of people to come along with them, you know, like and be into them. But then they'll hate certain phases of their career. They'll never want to do certain songs ever again and things like that. And
you don't think you suffer from that?
Man, 99% of what I've done I'm good.
Nice.
I stand behind 100%.
Time waits just to rub it in your face. But what it should have had a lasting fate. Couldn't carry weight. Each day a step closer to heaven's gate or hell's kitchen, depending on how you view faith. Who's to say? Question every move you make. The lesson learned, truly we only get few mistakes. Past the age of a quarter of a century. It's past 25, you'll be 30 in the blink of an eye. If I've learned anything, it's been fatherly wisdom, family business, handed down to all of my children. Never wanted you to struggle while I'm hustling now. I was lucky to not know the pain of a motherless child. You're making me proud, I'm wondering what you're gonna be. I wanna be like you when I grow up, untainted and free. So explain it to me, baby, show your pop what to do. She said walk slower, daddy, cause I'm following you. Grab my hand, boo. You're growing now, it won't be long.
Young is growing up too fast.
Your glowing smile makes home sweet home.
You need that money won't love me back.
Money comes, then money's gone.
Stay gold.
Show you all I know.
She said walk slower, daddy, cause I'm following you.
Little Jimmy is older now. Call him Big James. Soon he'll be moving out the house, going in the Navy. Little Gino is not no baby. He walks around loving Tech 9, freestyling crazy, and it all runs in the family. Musically inclined, little Aaron, he's doing fine. He studies at Pepperdine. No child left behind. Bree and Malika got they Nickelodeon shining. And Falia turns out it's good, I won't mind. We had good old times, teaching them how Oblivion rhymes. And it's a mass man legacy. What we have is still integrity, measuring success by longevity's terms. Where destiny was something you had to earn. And a head shepherd, he protected his herd and kept his word. It's best to learn from experience. Still listen to your elders whose theories proven tested unselfish. So when you're out there on your own,
Youngins growing up too fast.
we'll hope you hear our prayers from
You
home.
need that money won't love you back.
Cause money comes and money's gone.
Stay gold.
I'll teach you all I know.
Walk slower, daddy, cause I'm follower, and you.
Through your strength of character and the substance of your conversation, may you be a substantial member in the community, an upstanding, thoughtful neighbor. Honor thy mother and thy father, baby. I want all these things for you. May you inherit the earth because you shall be meek, but known to strike and protect yourself at all times. And you'll always be mine, be yours, and the world is your oyster, girl. It won't be long. You'll be out there on your own. I just wanna keep you from mine for long. For now, teach you all I know. All I know. I hear babies cry and watch them grow. I know how Louis feel. Yeah. Ooh, ooh. You always feel a warm blanket and you never know the pain I felt. I'll be there for you, but it don't matter. The past is the past. We're moving into the future, to the here and now. Yeah, yeah.
What about this? What about as a black MC? How have you seen that been an issue? Was it never an issue because of the majority, or is it now an issue? Cause in the independent, right, the colors are white and black, right? Hispanics and Asians, it's breaking in, but never really been the heavy, even though they have been like, Living Legends, Asian, like they have been present, right? Mm-hmm. Have you seen it be affecting you being black in the independent scene?
Well, I mean, I'm black always at all times.
Yeah. So, yeah.
You know what I mean? In and out, through and through. But, I'll say this. I'll say that, if you look at American music, if you look at every form of American music that came before us, so from, from blues to jazz to rhythm and blues, rock and roll, all of that. And you look what's happened with the brothers who started off doing it. There was a period in time where things were called race records, and black music could be deemed that because there was big volumes of black people buying it. Maybe only black people were buying it, and just speckles of white people here and there. You know what I mean? And so, I think America got to a point where that genre kind of faded out. I don't know if you could have ever looked at hip hop music. I mean, it was labeled black music, sure, but I don't know if black people were ever the only ones buying hip hop. That's the one unique thing about hip hop.
As opposed to blues, where it was
as opposed to blues,
or soul,
and
it
as
was
opposed to jazz, and as opposed to soul.
Yeah.
Because even when you go back and look at the movies, all the early movies, when you go back and look at Wild Style, you see a diversity in the culture, because hip hop came out of the art scene. And the art scene was definitely never all black.
Right.
So let's just start that. By the way, we're here at the beautiful Align Gallery here in Highland Park, 5045 York Boulevard. For those of you that would like to come and see one of our lovely displays that is often on display. We do the Music Box Theater with Sunspot Jones of the Living Legends crew every third Sunday of the month. But yes, hip hop came out of the art scene, right? And the art scene was never all black. So let's just get that just straight from the gate.
Right.
All right. Then it came from the art scene to the DJs. Now, the DJs were black. That was Kool Herc, Africa Bam. He was the first one figuring out, because he came from Jamaica, where they were broke and they had to take electricity from the light poles to power their systems. And the toasting of the reggae and all of that came out of dub, what the MC was doing for the DJ. So that was Kool Herc and Africa Band, all those cats with those Caribbean roots. Because, in New York, your parents are probably from the Caribbean, or something like that. So that, but then, the history of that, if your history comes from Island Records, and, the whole guy, that white guy that founded Island Records. So, I mean, in reggae music in general was already embraced by the masses of people. So in a sense, hip hop came out of that consciousness. And yes, Kool Herc and them were in the park. Okay, yes, they were in the Bronx. And maybe it was majority, but it was Puerto Ricans too.
Yeah.
Maybe it wasn't a whole bunch of white people, but it was Puerto Ricans too. When you go back and look at Wild Style, those are Puerto Ricans bombing there. When you go back and look at Beach Street, I think Crazy Legs was up in there. I think Rocksteady, you know what I mean, was up in there too, right? In the blue hoodies, I remember seeing them battling against Lee and his homies. And then Lee and his homies even had a couple of Puerto Rican homies. And then I think Ramo, one of the main writer, I mean, so if anything,
it's more of an economical thing, right? It read more to a certain people that fit an economic standard than more of a race thing, hip hop.
Well, it came, like I say, you got to look at its origins from the art scene, which is definitely diverse, to the DJ and park scene and B-boys, which was definitely at least black and Puerto Rican, black and Mexican over here, to MCing, which, okay, all the MCs were black at first. I'll give you that. I'll give you that. At first, all the MCs were black.
But see, even that you can debate. Well,
the ones that were, it was, you know what I'm saying? It was a couple of Puerto Ricans. Yeah. It was a couple of Puerto Ricans too. You know, that whole, in the movie, Wild Style, that whole basketball battle that they have, right? Basically, go back and go back and look at that scene and see who's what. Yeah. Okay, cool. But I mean, I'm saying Peachtree, all these early movies, even Breaking. I mean, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like Ozone was freaking, he was something. He was something Hispanic, like The Girl, you know what I mean? Like, so hip hop has always been more diverse. Yeah, there was a time where it was like a bunch more black people doing it, but black people are always like, you know, doing something and then bouncing around to the next thing. We kind of get bored just doing one thing. And then what'll happen is we get off that, like we get off that blues and go into jazz. And then white people are like, damn, this blues is great. Let's, you know, study everything about the blue. And like now they own it. We're like, oh, we're on jazz. Then they get on jazz and we're like, oh, we're on rock and roll, or we're on rhythm and blues. You know what I mean? We're on hip hop. Like we're on disco for a second. Now we're on hip hop.
Yeah,
like,
disco was
we're moving around.
The Soul Train.
We're moving around, and you know, because it's fun to move around and always be on different things. But to actually study something and like and haul off into it and like dedicate your life to that one particular form of culture is a whole nother thing that then turns into commerce and everything like that. And that's probably an area where, especially on the independent tip, you know, I mean, if you're not Tech 9 right now, you know, not a whole lot of brothers have really figured out, you know, I give respect to like powerhouses like Hyro and, you know, I mean, there's some brothers, you know, at Rhymesayers, you know what I'm saying? Don't get it twisted. But like, you know, as a black, to answer your question, I'll say this. I would say, you know, the struggles have always been the same, just like they were for Sam Cooke, just like they were for Otis Redding. You know, just like they were, I mean, Rolling Stones took Otis Redding on tour. You know, they came out here, saw him struggling. They were like, man, we named our band after one of your songs, you know, like a Rolling Stone. And they're like, you know, his boys sent word to him, yeah, we want you to come over here. And it was like, cool. It saved him, you know, it helped him. I mean, so if you know, live your life with the kind of person that just shows respect to people, shows love, in general, good things will come back to you. Your Rolodex will be fat. And not only will you know the people's number, but when they look down and see you calling or texting, they'll hit you back. Boom. Because you've always had that love. Yeah. So I manifest like that, and I don't really spend too much time thinking about the racial aspects, because I don't really feel like I've ever just been performing for black people. Maybe when I was inside The Good Life and it was like those 50 people there, or when it was packed, maybe 100 people. But when we came to Unity, it was all kind of people there. That's what Unity was all about. That's why it was called Unity, you know. And definitely when we broke into the Project Blow, you know, The Good Life was sort of Muslim ran, and it had that vibe to it. Like brothers gonna work it out. Yeah. Me and AC definitely made a conscious decision to make the Blow feel diverse and open to everybody. No censorship, and just kind of like inclusive more inclusive. We definitely had that conscious decision. That's why the Project Blowed is what it is today. That's why there's, you know, a Dumbfounded and an Acid Rain, and a L Scatter, you know, and a Deucer, you know, and a No Can Do, and a freaking Bus Driver, you know, and a Rhetoric Ramirez. We're all over the place. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. I ask because, like, it's been such a career that you've had that's still so continuous to, like, no side and end. You know what I mean? That I just needed to know if you've ever noticed that being a factor.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's marketing. It's like, look at the country. You know, Black people are probably like 12%, and like I say, our interests move around.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, Black people in LA were super hyped on hip hop and stuff like that in the K-Day era. Also, you know, the free mediums of how most of the masses, most of the blind masses just get music is still the radio, and it's, you know, they still look at certain shows that are promoted. Now, I mean, now you got YouTube, and you know, people are looking all over now. So it's really you have more power than ever now.
Yeah.
So that's another reason. That's another reason to feel empowered and not to feel, oh, woe is me. You know what I mean, I know my music appeals to all different kind of people. I can tell by all the different kind of people that have always shown up at our shows from day one. And when we got our record deal, we got signed by white people. We didn't get signed by Black people. You know what I mean? I would have loved to have got signed to LaFace. I would have loved to have got signed to Def Jam.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But we got our record deal from Grand Royal Capital. So, man, I had love for them white people that signed me, that took a chance on us.
Appreciate it. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So whatever the Beastie Boys crowd was, that little weird, little vintage, little 70s loving, Scooby-Doo loving crowd, that already already embodied, and we did too. We grew up loving all that shit, skating, and I was like, okay, let's get all them. Let's go. Like, that's the market they got. Let's get it. You know, they was on the internet first. They was on all that shit. Yeah. So we benefited from being on some early projects with them. Like, I was on a record with the Beastie Boys. It came out in France, 2 volumes. But, you know, it's not about what you did. It's about what you do. It's about how you keep forging the iron will, forging ahead, eyes ahead.
How do you keep past experiences from spoiling getting into new experiences? Because, like, and not that I do, and we're going to, because I need to know before we jump directly into, like, Battleaxe, right? Cause that was it's still a big part of my life, right? I love it. It did. I got a tag cause I'm a Battleaxe warrior. I'm official and everything, right? Word up. But the reason that there is this stigma around it, that it did not end on a good note. Right. And maybe I don't know if you're aware of that, but there is that perspective that the way it's split up is very much controversial from the fans' perspective. Right. So, and maybe maybe we can get into some specifics of what really happened and how it went down and what did that mean for Abstract? Because, dude, for a very long time, for maybe 5-6 years, Battleaxe was the label where, like, independent hip hop was coming out of.
They were churning them out.
And, dude, everyone from Prevail just being one of the illest MCs ever, right? To, like, Buck 50 and Mocha Only and, like, Son Doobie and then them covering angles, dude. Like, they did not, covering LA. We got Canada, New York. Let's get this mixture going, and then delivering hits at a consistent and a standard that was higher than anything that was being pushed out. Dude, the quality that was coming out of Battleaxe was amazing for an independent label. Even on videos, they were groundbreaking. Like, Lady Venom, when it first came out, I was like, whoa, he has a fake scorpion lady. Like, it was the label to happen, right? And for fans like me to see it kind of deteriorate the way it did. And if you paid attention, it was an obvious, like, after a while, was like, what is happening here? And then one day
went away.
It's all gone. And, you know, what did that mean for Abstract when that happened? What did it mean to get signed first to Battleaxe?
Okay. Well, to get signed first to Battleaxe, you know, it felt like a dope extended venture into Canada. It felt risky in the sense that
it's Canada.
Yeah, it's far away.
Yeah.
And
not exactly known for churning out MC, you know, like a hip hop, but
yeah, but I mean it sprung out of just me knowing those guys from going up there touring in the late 90s, in the mid to late 90s, and connecting with Prev and Mocha and Mad Child, and us all finding out that we were Scorpios, me Prev and Moke, and me and Prev within like a couple of days of each other. So that was intriguing, and we had conceived maybe one day doing a project, you know, like,
and it did happen.
And then it ended up happening just like on the fly. I was in Seattle, so I was close enough to take to catch a ride up there with some homies. You know, I can't remember if I caught a bus or just I got up there and just we spontaneously in a week banged out that record. We banged out 7 songs in 7 days, filled up the rest of the record with like solo songs.
Yeah.
And it was just like some potential that I felt we had really tapped.
Yeah.
And to be honest, you know, I always felt like Mocha and Prev didn't really see the full, they either didn't really see the full potential that they could have had in a side venture with Codename Scorpion, or they were so obligated to work with Swollen, you know, with Mad Child, that they were never, you know, really given the opportunity or broke away to give themselves the opportunity to do that much with me. So it ended up being a thing to where, you know, it was dope that we did that record, and, you know, and people loved it up there. And I was always wanting us to go do a tour, a separate tour, like, let's go do a Codename tour.
Hell yeah.
And they were so popping with Swollen, winning 2 and 3 Junos in a row, that their tour schedule was insane. And, you know, they were riding high on Cloud 9. And they were kind of like, oh, well, we'll see. And then, you know, Mad Child wasn't the best bookkeeper. Let's just keep it real. So when we got SoundScan numbers back and we're seeing that we were actually, you know, selling some records, we were like, well, what's up with, you know, some royalties? And it was like pulling teeth to get those. And once we worked it out and we went into the second record, I thought that everything was going to be on track. And he kind of sold it like, man, I'm putting this together. But I think he was dealing with a lot of things, as you see how his life sort of devolved and then re-evolved. But he went through some lows. So I think anytime you're dealing with that, just many personal demons, and you're fighting through all of that, it's going to be hard to run a company. And I mean, he was just off the street. He had never done it before. So I don't know why we would have expected that he could have just kept pulling it off to the point where it would have worked out for everybody.
Well, because that's what he said, I'm sure, right?
But
that's why you believed him, because he said he was going to.
He said he was going to do it, but then when you come to find out, person was battling drug addiction and it got really bad. Yeah. Then you're like, oh, okay, now I get it. So at that point, it was just like, well, let me cut bait and, you know, take my product and get all of my homies' product that I took through here. And we took it all through Alpha Pup distribution, and it was like all good. I tried to make good with it from that point. And to be honest, was bitter for some time, mainly just at him. Just because I felt like, man, such potential squander, like you're saying. But when you look at it in the frame of history, like, it was a hell of a run. The music will exist forever. I'm going up to Canada You know, I'm starting my Canada tour the day after tomorrow, and I'm gonna relive my verses on those songs at least. If I'm in Vancouver, hopefully those guys show up. There's been times in the years since all that I've played up there, and at least one of them will show up, you know, and we'll rock something off Codename or something like that. So it's all love. I mean, we almost flirted with coming back together, doing a new Codename Scorpion album a few years back, and we recorded like 3 songs that I actually have. I recently listened to them, and they're super dope. I know I was taking off on that shit.
You gotta let me hear it, though.
I'll let you hear it. You know what? I'll let you.
I'll empty out my pocket so you know there's no recording devices on me, and you gotta let me hear them. Do you know I would flip out?
Hey, we gonna when we start this other show, I'm gonna fuck around and just leak one. Like, why not?
And we'll save the news to the end of this show because I want people to. But listen to the end of the episode because me and Abstract have a big announcement.
Oh, yeah.
I know my audience is going to go crazy over, right? And I know that Abstract's fans and hip hop in general is going to respond to it in a way that I don't think has ever been done before. I think it's important. So stick around till the very end of the show. We got an announcement for you guys. More questions because I got to know. Okay. I got to know. So have you spoken to Mad since then?
You know what? I have not. Since the initial blow up of me, because see, here's what happened. Like I was rolling with Hyro, pretty much management, you know, at the time. So this is circa like 03. My new album Showtime is out. Paint is still selling. So I'm kind of like, okay, we stipulate, you know, I got my attorney and we stipulated paperwork before we went into the next album. And the paperwork we stipulated was also payment periods for accounting. And mind you, this was spread out. This was like, you got 3 months within 6 months. Like, you know what I mean? And then we'd wait 3 months past that and you're still not even contacting us. And we're like, well, man, we can see that we've sold some more units. So can we, you know, that little like.
Did they ever get to a legal point? Where you wanted to take legal action?
Well, it was like this. I had already, you know, I had paid my attorney, got him to negotiate the deal for me. And it was pretty much like he still wasn't honoring the contract.
Damn.
So what can you do at that point? I mean, the money you're suing for isn't that much, $4,000 to $10,000. But that could actually help your life, you know, down here in LA. The cost of living is kind of high.
Yeah.
Right. And
4 to 10 for an independent artist means a lot.
Means a lot.
And I'm sure you're not just talking about the financial things. Also hey, I worked. Where's my money?
Principalities involved, Smokey. It's principalities involved in this, Smokey.
I find it hard to believe. I'm not saying you're lying, but I find it hard to understand that now him living in LA for the last couple of years, you haven't ran into each other. There hasn't been hey, well, he was here just not that long ago, or Now, I'm sure you haven't been trying to avoid him, or has it been just because, you know what, man, I don't want to deal with it. I don't want to revisit that.
Well, you know what? I haven't got booked at any shows that he's been on, and he has, and vice versa. And
mutual acquaintances.
I actually reached that. Like we were talking via like a close friend of mine up there in Canada.
Yeah.
A booking agent homie. And he's tried to commandeer some talks before. And, you know, I've like spoken my piece or whatever, like in emails or whatever. But, you know, there was that principality point. I'm just saying back in the day where I was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where I was like, if you don't have my money, or my bud, I'm gonna come over there. You know what I mean? Like
you're playing with my emotions type shit.
There was that point.
Right.
And, you know, I felt like, man, after the lawyer and everything. Cause then at that point, I'm like, well, then why have you even got the lawyer? You know? And then I'm like, of course, get a lawyer. You know, it's fundamental, but I'm just like, okay. So basically, you're just telling me you just don't give a mad fuck.
Yeah.
Like mad child, don't give a mad fuck about me. Is how it felt. But I don't want to come off like I'm crying about shit that happened years ago, because there's certain statute of limitations on certain shit. And like I say, it's water under the bridge.
Yeah.
I took my records back, kept it moving.
Dope.
But it's for, I do feel bad for the fan. I wish I'll put it out there. I wish that me, Prev, and Moke, and Rob the Viking, along with some other beasts, will hook back up and do another one like we tried to do, but do it on our own. And if it's somebody out there that wants to fuck with it, you know what I'm saying, get with us, and we can put this shit together and come hard like how Slaughterhouse did, or like how when LP and Killer Mike just got together.
Yeah.
Like we could come back and really like do this shit hard, a little bit of budget behind it, where we can just record it the right way, mix it really fat, and have some tight videos for it, and we go on a fucking world tour. And I think now would be the perfect time, and the fans would eat it up. I just dropped my solo record. I heard Mocha's always doing new stuff.
Mocha has to be one of the most
prolific.
I mean, the albums that he attained in like 3 years, like the albums that he put, it's gotta be to the date he has now. There has to be some kind of world record. Like there has to be like a Guinness record of like Mocha only, the world's most albums ever made in a career or something like that, right?
You ain't never lie. He will put out an album a week.
It is insane.
Sometimes.
It is insane. So, before I ask like the obvious question, which would be, why not through Rhymesayers, right? I need to know how that came about. So Mocha has now left Battleaxe, that adventure's gone. And then for a while, you were independent, solo, unsigned, if I understand correctly, right?
Yeah, sort of.
When did it come up to like Slug had interest in you?
Well, actually, I was never unsigned. I was working with Battleaxe, and on that tour for that Showtime record, I get to Minneapolis, and that's when Rhymesayers got at me. Because from a retail perspective, they could tell that shit was going haywire up there. They're like, first of all,
but that's a very young Slug, though. I mean, as a
Slug
record,
really
label head.
Slug really had nothing to do with it. I'm sure Sadiq is the head A&R and kind of like visionary for what the projects that they're bringing to the table up there. Sadiq.
Yeah.
So he was the one that I was dealing with, right? He's the one that approached me and first asked me had I ever heard of Vitamin. First he was like, what's going on with Battleaxe?
Yeah.
And just sort of just asking me like, cause they could tell from a retail perspective, like I said, that things weren't right.
Did you know Sadiq? How you met Sadiq? Was there?
I knew him. I had met him, like I sort of knew him through the grapevine.
Sure.
Let's just put it that way. Okay. I was really close friends with Idea, peace be upon him, and Slug.
Yeah.
And so through the closeness of that, like they were on my album. They were on the Paint record, you know, sort of before the mushroom cloud happened, right? So there was that. So they have my record in their store. I remember Slug telling me that he could always sell that record because they were on it too. And like, yeah, we're on this one. So, you know, there was some history there from the song Frisbee. And, you know, they told me, he revealed to me that a big reason why they even fuck with Battleaxe shit was because of my stuff on there, me being on there.
Yeah.
You know, and they're like, maybe a couple other things, but, you know? And then they're like, we got the single 3 to 4 months after the album came out, and then we still haven't even seen the video. So they were like,
they did the math,
and they were like, they're not valuing him, and we'd rather have him, straight up. So then he hit me to the whole Vitamin D idea. That was their idea, to come in and have Vitamin D do production. Which at first I was like, but then I heard his stuff. I was like, okay. Figured it was something I could knock out really quick and then move on to another ATU record. As it stood, that shit took forever because scheduling. He's in Seattle. I'm in LA. I'm still trying to tour to make money to live. We hadn't really just exchanged advance money right off the gate. It was sort of like, well, let's see what we could work on. You know what I mean? So you're trying to
fill it out.
You're trying to keep a stiff upper lip But like I was, you know, I'm not getting my royalties from Battleaxe, so I'm still having to be out there grinding. You know, this is LA. So eventually, after about a 6-month period, I had all these songs written to Vitus Beats, and then we went up and just started recording. So 05, 06, 07 ended up just being this 3 years spaced out process of me going up there so that we could basically say that we did the record together and so that it could feel organic. And in the end, it got delayed and coming out in 08 when I went on tour with Atmosphere and Brother Ali. I did probably 100 shows with both of them. And then we missed putting the record out because like just complications happened with the single. Vita ended up selling the beat. We picked a Red Man and that set everything back. We came up with different plans. But I said, I'm not going to quit. I'm not going to get frustrated. I'm going to see this thing through. So by Cinco de Mayo 09, it came out. I was happy it came out. We had a proper little viral campaign to go with videos we had. So I saw it all the way through and definitely got some Midwest exposure and, you know, still cool with those guys. Like Slug and Ali are on my record. Blueprint, Psalm 1, Musab are on my record. So
heavyweights.
You never know. I mean, maybe down the line I'll end up doing another record with them. We still fam no matter what. There was no bad blood when I left Rhymesayers the way it was. And I mean, I didn't leave Rhymesayers. It's just this new album, they passed on it. I mean, I didn't
resent them for that.
I've hit Sadiq up with it, you know. I sent it to him, but I didn't send him once it got to the point where I felt like, okay, he's not so into it. I just was like, okay, I'm going to do this one. I'm going to do this one for me. And, you know, Daddy Kev had been building with me like you need to, you know, build on your own label anyway. So it just felt really right to like step out on my own on this one.
Yeah.
And this one took a while. I mean, I started in like 2011, to be honest.
Wow.
And just sessions here and there. I wanted it to be a feel record. So everything had to feel right, you know, and the vibes had to feel right in the studio. And I didn't try to bite off more than I could chew just because I had a session. If I didn't finish the song, oh well, I'll come back and finish it. And I freestyled a lot of the stuff and listened back. And then was like, oh, I like that part. Okay, punch me in right here. And then freestyled from there. And, you know, I got witnesses to all this stuff. Like my boy Raw's Ill Remedy, Biz One, they were right there with me, kind of musing through it with me. And and I was building up the label, Keep the Feel, which we always had as an imprint, but just to do sort of like digital reissues, like the Paint, the Showtime, and all that stuff that was on Battleaxe. And yeah, once Daddy Kev just put that idea in my head, like you need to be out here trying to develop some of this young talent. Sure, you're a legacy artist. You're, and he said that. He told me that. He's like, you're a legacy artist. I'm like, So it was like Keep the Feel, Legacy of Hip Hop Soul is the name of my new record. And just to like put it out there like that, it's the name of the label. It's the movement. And it's always been. Fat Jack said it on our first record, Move Pieces. He said, we don't say keep it real. We say keep the feel. So it is as it was, as it always shall be with me. And, you know, I'm to a point with the Battleaxe thing. I told you some details. I mean, you asked, and it's the truth.
Yeah.
But I'm good with it. I mean, even like Mad Child had, you know, I mean, for the most part, you could just say it. I mean, he's been ducking me, and I don't know why, because I ain't like the big bad wolf. But I guess that's a testimony of how, you know, just like heated things got at a certain point over business. But it's business, never personal in the end. And I got love. Hopefully me, Prev, Mad, and Rob, like I say, could reconvene one day, make the code name 2. And as far as Rhymesayers goes, be looking out for a video I'm going to be dropping later this year with me, Slug, and Brother Ali for the song called The Solution off my new album. So, man, keeping it moving. You know what I mean? Just like I'm the ambassador of independent hip hop. You know, I got heads in all the crews. I stay cool with all the crews, and I have all through the years. The Legends, the High Roads, the Quantums.
And that speaks to
Rhymesayers.
To your personality, and it speaks to your character, I think, where you're allowed to do, because that's not always looked upon in a good light. That fact that you kind of mingle in all these crews all the time, you know, especially in hip hop, it's real like, well, are you with them or are you with me? What's happening?
Right.
No, but you build this kind of persona and character around you where people are like, dude, Abs is going to do Abs and he's going to do it the way he's going to do it. And of course, we'd be more than happy to have you on and do project and do this and do that. And we'll be, please, you know, we'd be happy to be included in that list, you know. Again, that's why it's been such a pleasure to like see you grow as an artist, to like follow your career and be able to boom, boom, boom. And the oldest thing on here is 2 months, bro. Like he has not forgotten. He has not let out. Boom. There it is. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, when I started doing, so I spent a lot of time on YouTube and looking at that stuff, and I'm just so happy to see, like, you're happy to see artists that grew up with you, because you follow them doing good, and you're like, yes, that's what's up. I heard an acrobatic song on a UFC video game, and when I heard it, acrobat, I was like, whoa, shit, acrobatic.
You know what? I heard that too.
Yeah. So then I hit him up just on that base, like, dude, I heard your song. I tweeted him. Shit's dope. From there on, we got a friendship going. Acrobatic was on the show not that long ago. So like, to me, it was like, dude, that is so dope that Acro's still going, still doing it.
He's dope.
And the same caliber, man. Same dude. Okay. We got to get into some segments because my audience is going to want to know a couple things directly.
All right.
That I know they've always wanted to know. And this is what we talked about. We have this is segment number 1.
Hit me with it.
I need Abstract Rude's top 5 musical influences of all time. The top 5.
That's easy. Okay. Number 1, Michael Jackson. Number 2, Jimi Hendrix. Number 3, I would say Prince. I would definitely say Prince. We geeked out on Prince. He's just a musical genius. Now, number 4, I would say Bob Marley. As when I first heard Bob Marley, that just, I fell in love with reggae and just wanted to have locks and connect with everything he was doing. And believe it or not, number 5, I'm gonna go with Jim Morrison.
No, nice.
Just because when I saw the Doors, that was breaking free. That was breaking free.
Yeah.
Let me hit that when y'all can.
It's the beauty of
that was breaking free. Like Fat Jack showed me the Doors, and that was definitely like the last piece because I was already sort of like on some shit like that. And I was like, wow. And just to see him as just a vocalist. He didn't have an instrument. He was just out there in front like a vocalist. You know what I'm saying? And here, I'll give it back to you. But yeah, those 5. And I start with Michael Jackson because the dancing, the Jackson vibe, the singing, the whole package, everything, just the showmanship. And then, second, Jimi Hendrix.
Or Jimi Hendrix,
because when we ran into him, we tried to imitate, Zulu tried to imitate every movement he made. We listened to his music and danced to his music.
Zulu still dances, right? He still dances for your shows?
Yes. Tribe Unique still on that.
Dude, it's such a beautiful thing to see him kind of groove to your lyrics too, dog. Like, I've seen many a abstract show. I saw one of the events you did you had Merce, I believe. You had Slug, you in LA somewhere. I don't remember where.
Wow.
In a theater somewhere.
Oh, okay. That was probably a Basement Records show then.
I was
the
there.
Grand Theater.
I was there with a date. right? This is before I met my wife. I was there with a date, and I'm like, look, I got some tickets. Let's go see it. She's like, yeah. And that, man, just seeing him groove to your dancing, like he was like so into it, like he's just vibing. It was like such a beautiful thing to see that vibe happen. I'm like, you don't see that, I told her. You don't see that. That's what I'm talking about. That's why we're here, for this kind of stuff.
So see, and then, I mean, so yeah, Michael Jackson, Prince, Jimi Hendrix inspired a lot of that. And, yeah, and then so after that, Bob Marley was definitely where we got our reggae and just like dread influence. Then we got deeper into it as far as all the Wailers, and then we found, you know, Lee Scratch Perry, Jimmy Cliff, Bigger They Are Harder They Fall, the movie Rockers, and just dug deeper and deeper. Israel Vibrations, Culture, you know what I mean? And it just got to a point, Still Pulse, and we were just like, oh man, we are feeling this culture and everything that they are about.
And the Doors fit right in. They were right there.
The Doors was that piece that so all those first four was before we met Fat Jack. That's sort of what I was on. And you know, I would say Motown in general, just all of Motown. I look at Michael Jackson as separate, but all of Motown could have been considered a fifth prior to meeting Fat Jack. Then after meeting Fat Jack, and he hit me to the Doors and Jim Morrison, it was just like, wow, okay, yep. That was that final piece of abstraction and tuning into just like the feelings that you get from the music and just like the journey that you could let yourself go on. Yeah, albeit drug induced or not. but you know, even though I wasn't like on all the drugs, I still tuned into
the energy,
the energy like of what he was coming with.
So your top 5 are good. I like your top 5.
That's my top 5 music.
You know what's more interesting to me than your top 5 though?
What's that?
Your bottom 5. Because your bottom 5 really give me and let me know what standard you hold your music to. You know what I'm saying? So I need Abstract Rude's bottom 5, just like, dude, Dirt, my Gert 5.
My bottom 5. Okay. Well, if you're going to keep it like that, I would say my bottom 5 would be, and when you say bottom 5, you just mean like, you know, like who's towards the bottom of the list? Like that, right?
Yeah.
Who's towards the bottom of the list?
In your opinion.
Okay. In my opinion. Well, I mean, you know, I'll give it up for Freestyle Fellowship in general. And that includes the Underground Railroad, because they brought me to wanting to explore more jazz.
Whoa, hold on. Because the audience has a very direct perspective of what the bottom 5 is, and I don't want them to be any mixture. So your bottom 5 would be like what you consider to be junk. Dirt.
Oh, what I consider to be junk.
Yeah.
Oh, my
I don't
bad.
want to be like, Project Blow, and be like, whoa.
I thought you meant like took closer down more.
No.
Because those top 5 set the mold, and then there's other ones that come in and they added other things. But okay.
You're
okay.
garbage.
Oh, garbage.
You're garbage.
Right. Okay. Okay. My worst bottom 5. And let me really think about this.
And I ask everyone, I swear, I'm not putting you on the spot or nothing.
Okay, I understand. I'm gonna say, damn, it's hard to just think about blasting somebody like that.
It's just in your opinion, you know what I'm saying? That you're just not, like Wax said it very well. He goes, look, I'm just not feeling them. I don't get it. Who don't you get, Abstract Rude?
All right. Damn. See, I try not to pay attention to who I don't get. But I was not the biggest fan of, let's say, oh man, this is a hard question for me, man. Fuck, you're making me, I have to like put some thought into this. So like, thinking too much about what I'm gonna say and who I'm gonna possibly diss. I'm trying to think of names that like will be easy to say.
And that won't have any repercussions to it, you mean?
I won't have any repercussions.
You'll take them, dog.
I mean, okay. I remember not being the hugest fan of just all the PlayStation sort of rap when it came out. I don't want, man, you put me on the spot. This is a hard question. Like, does everybody answer this?
Everybody. Or you don't. It's up to you, dog.
Okay. I got a bottom five.
Listen.
I got a bottom five.
There you go.
Number one.
All the way around you.
Number one, Tim Dog. Fuck Tim Dog. Tim Dog was dissing Compton.
Yeah.
And he never even made nothing tight.
Mm-hmm.
So Tim Dog was whack to me. Pretty much everything disco. I was glad when that football game did the kill disco thing at halftime and everybody got in free or for $1 that brought a disco record and they put them all in the middle of the field and just blew all them shits up. So I mean anything
disco.
Anything disco.
All right.
You could just throw that out. Let's see. Honestly, I wasn't the biggest fan of all that like Qbert rap shit. Like I got the power. You know what I mean? And that type shit. It was like cool, but when that would come on, I was like,
like the Dream Team type shit.
Yeah, CC and the Music Factory, Us Three, that type of rap I was never really feeling. I was always like, let's go on to the next video.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll throw that whole like genre, though I'm not gonna diss PM Dawn. I actually thought PM Dawn was dope.
Yeah.
Because I actually thought PM Dawn has some technique.
We actually had just talked about PM Dawn yesterday. There was a lot of controversy around PM Dawn yesterday because Pigeon John brought him up. And listen to the episode, people. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna diss PM Dawn. I'm not gonna diss Vanilla Ice.
Yeah,
those two are very easy to throw out. I'm not gonna throw them out. Yeah, man, I think I said 5. Like,
that's good enough.
I threw 5 in there, man. Shit, making me diss people is hard. I mean, you know what? But I'll say this: for the most part, turn on what Power 106 is playing for most of the day, and I don't like a lot of it. You know what I mean? But
it's a shame at this point.
Yeah, I don't like a lot of it, and just the intent behind it, and just the fact that they're only playing this handful of that. It would be cool if they spaced it out and threw some other stuff in there, kind of like when you listen to the radio in Europe, you're listening to the radio in the UK. It's a lot more diverse. And it's crazy. We'll get more spins places away from America, but I guess it's because we're exotic or whatever. But then DJs will tell us our shit doesn't bump, but then we'll get playing clubs somewhere else. So just different strokes for different folks.
Yeah, it's not as available over there, it's as it is here. In LA, you can go 20 different shows on 20 different nights, and it's blah blah blah. In Australia, you can't do that. So that's why they still hold it so dear, and they love it, and they support it. The merch is crazy. That's why. Dude, that's what's up. I'm with it.
shit to fear. I could risk losing it for the benefits. Or should I hold it tight, turn on my clutches instead of just letting it go? I'd have been wrong before, but the fact it wasn't that long ago. I even hit the bottom low, but that was just part of my growth. My heart's always broken, I guess I'm starting over. And now my battered soul is going back through the motions. I'm just half of a whole who once had no control. I was breaking my oath, it was happening over and over again. That wasn't gold, so I had to take hold. It's sad how it goes when you don't even know to begin. It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution. It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution. Follow me now if you ready to do more than just talk. Walk with me, be the solution. Offer critical thought for the youth, be the solution. Everyone is at fault, after all we're only human. I've been the problem, you've been the problem, and now we're the solution.
I spread my arms like frosting, like a phoenix wing around its offspring. Soda pop sings songs of optimism. 1972, caught the rhythm of a heartbeat. Lost the change in a car seat, aiming at the mirror but still blames the party. As if everybody's listening wrong. It's the vision I've drawn of this impossible mission I'm on. I ain't like the rest of the scene, I'm not swimming in a stream of synthetic wet dreams. No, I work hard, keep everything clean, cause the needle still stings when the pendulum swings. Yes, I'm trying to do my best, I'm not the best though. I do it to my death, I'll never let go. A student of the revolution, we put the salute in the solution.
It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution. It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution.
I was raised on the doctrine of the honorable Elijah Muhammad. Do what you gotta do to be profitable. Ain't nobody stopping you, but ain't nobody trying to plant your seeds and water too. Unless you're cool with starving, who gotta harvest that garden? You. Meaning me, it became easy to see that I'm the one, gotta put my life the way I'm supposed to be. And it might seem kinda cliche, but hey, truth be that way. Those that don't know need to hear, so those that do know need to say. You can quote them slogans over and over till you overdose and coasting through life until you slam into that wall, then bang, then it click. That truth is an upper lip, chilling right there under your nose until one day you come to grips. As long as the world been revolving, if I'm still groveling in the same problem wherever I walk, it's probably not none of y'all, but obviously some flaw that I ignore but got to see. And who got to solve it? Me, Brother Ali.
It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution. It starts with me, I must admit I've been a problem, but still I can't quit. They spend my time complaining to no benefit, but nah, making a contribution, so that makes me the solution. Follow me now if you ready to do more than just talk. Walk with me, be the solution. Offer critical thought for the youth, be the solution. Everyone is at fault, after all we're only human. I've been the problem, you've been the problem, and now we're the solution.
Before we end the show, I got one last segment, and this is the key signature of the show. Okay?
All right.
So the way it works is, we're going to do something I like to call 12 rounds.
12 rounds.
I'm going to ask you 12 questions, each more difficult than the last. You answer all 12 questions honestly, you're the champion, you walk away with the belt.
Okay.
And this time, because you are on the wish list, there's an actual belt that you win. You get this right here.
Oh, shit.
That's
Let
it
me
right there.
hold the belt. Is this a Maze mixtape belt?
How did May? Shout out to May. She's gonna flip out that you said that.
Shout out to Maze.
She's one of
mixtape.
our sponsors.
Okay.
And regardless, you'll get it. But because you're on the wish list, that's what they were made for. So that's for
Much
you.
love.
Please, man. Please, it'd be an honor. So 12 rounds.
Okay.
Each more difficult than the last. You answer all 12 questions. Honestly, you're the champion. You get the belt. If you cannot answer the question, or you will not answer the question, you will be knocked out. I'm the champion, and I get those glasses you're wearing.
Oh, snap.
Boom. You wanted to play 12 rounds, Abstract Root.
Hey, let's do it. Let's play 12 rounds.
That's what's up. Round number one. Simple. Yeah, there's usually a girl here that goes ding ding. It's very cute, but she's not here with us.
Okay.
What is your favorite part about your craft?
My favorite part about my craft is being able to just tell it like I see it, like it is, and to put together different patterns that make sense with the complete thought that I'm conveying. That still geeks me out to this day. And when I listen to another MC, that's the thing that I'm enjoying the most.
I like that. Round number 2. What is your least favorite part about your craft?
The least favorite part about my craft would be the fact that, downloads, existed and how technology basically, I guess, caught up to it and then turned it into something that wasn't as heralded as it used to be. And so, it's more competition swimming around out there. But hey, bring it on. Bring it on. You still got to drudge through it. You got to deal with those swells, with those highs and lows. But that would be the least favorite part.
Round number 3. If you could collaborate with anyone, dead or alive, who would it be?
I would definitely have to say Sade. Just because, man, can we be in the same room? I would love to collaborate with Sade. Her beautiful voice and me trying to match something with her to just sound super dope and sexy, but like still something that could like get people grooving on the dance floor.
Yeah. Okay. Round number 4. What are you most proud of?
I am most proud of my daughter, honestly, just to see her grow. She's 6 years old now. And, she's easily the best thing I ever did. So it's a challenge to just live my life with purpose and reach success so that she can realize her dreams.
Yeah. Round number 5. What are you least proud of?
I'm least proud of the not success that I've achieved thus far. The financial instability that I experience from time to time. I'm the least proud of that. And I mean, that's what any independent artist would probably be the least proud of. But that's something that you can change by going forward. So I'm grateful that the thing I am the least proud of is something that I can change going forward.
Round number 6. What is your biggest fear?
My biggest fear is leaving here and not leaving enough for my daughter. You know what I mean? So the thing I'm the most proud of is like not being able to provide for her. We recently lost her grandparents, on her mom's side, and they were relatively young, for grandparents. So that was a scary thing that brought things into reality, peace be upon both of them. So as with any parent, you just want to make sure you're doing enough for your child.
Round number 7. Who would you take a bullet for?
Man, I hate to make this whole thing about my daughter. I mean, almost every question, but
that's a beautiful thing.
I would take a bullet for her for sure. And I mean, it makes me cringe at this point when I hear about, bad things happening to kids, to kids and things like that. I feel like I would take a bullet for anyone who I was with. I feel like I could jump in front of somebody with a gun. If I knew the person with the gun. You know what I'm saying? So like if I really knew the person with the gun, and it's happened before, I feel like, so in a sense, I feel like I could take a bullet from them because I don't think they could shoot me. So I'm not afraid to jump in front of that gun. So that's just like taking a bullet.
It's heavy.
But,
it's heavy.
you know, but as far as really thinking about that bullet piercing my skin, you know, and diving in front of somebody,
Bodyguard style.
that's going to be your kid first, your mom second, you know, my sister,
right.
third, nephew, niece. It sort of goes down in that order.
I like that. Okay, round number 8. Who would you let that bullet hit? I'm not saying abstract shoot someone. That's not what I'm saying at all. But you're not gonna dive in front of dude, or it's like, well, fuck, bad luck, bro. Move on. Like, who would you just let that bullet hit?
Well, I'll tell you this. I could think of some cops who killed some kids recently in cold blood, killed some people. I wouldn't be trying to save them. Especially if it was somebody coming back for payback for what they did, I'd be like, whoa, he did that. Yeah. But I mean, there's like, whoever consciously, made the decision to take hip hop, and sort of like take away its chances to flourish in the mainstream, which I feel like was like a conscious decision, and you hear rumors about that in the prison industrial complex and that whole thing. Yeah. So if those people really exist, if there really is a mastermind behind that plan, then I'm not getting out the way of them.
All right. I like that. Round number 9. Who is it number 9? Yes. Round number 9. Who would you never work with for round number 9? Like, ever work with?
What's the girl who goes crazy and sticks her tongue out and
Miley Cyrus?
I guess Miley Cyrus.
You would never work with Miley Cyrus.
I mean, I don't think Abstract Rude and Miley Cyrus is in the same lane.
She calls you, hey, Ab, I got shot there on the hook, right?
I mean, I would be really surprised if that were to happen. Like, I can pretty much guarantee.
I found an old Jimi Hendrix riff, and we made a beat. Jay Dilla made a beat. You, me, Ab, right now. Let's do this.
Man, Jimi Hendrix would roll over in his grave, and Dilla would roll the other way if that were to go down. I think. I mean, look, I'm not allergic to success and money, and you'd be surprised if people come calling when you do get fame. I know how that works, but someone like that just doesn't match with my brand, sort of thing. But I mean, just me. I mean, would I, from a label perspective, not encourage one of my artists to work with somebody like that if they wanted to, if it fit the concept? I could see it from a different angle with that hat on. But that's the thing about starting off on a certain foot. You start off on a certain foot, you made your bed as Abstract Rude, as this kind of an artist. And though I'm not pigeonholed into one box, I can do a lot of diverse things.
Miley Cyrus might not fit.
That's not gonna end up being one of them.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'd sooner try to go after like Sade or, go Avale or Mystic before I'd even, try to mess with her, Jill Scott, just because I think we can make something that would be way more like in my lane and would like touch a lot of people the right way.
Yeah.
The way I like for music, to be used.
That's what's up.
Yeah.
I respect that. I like that answer. Last 3. 10. Round 10. Do you believe in God?
Of course I believe in God.
What does that mean for Abstract Rude?
I was raised a Christian. I still am Christian because I felt like that question you asked earlier, would I take a bullet for? I could take, like, if you're faced with that situation, whoever you pray to, that's really what you are. And people like to be raised a certain way and then say, oh no, I'm not that no more, when that gun's not pointed at them. But then when the heat is on, they're like, oh Lord Jesus, oh please help me. Or oh, they're praying to the saints, you know, because they're Catholic, or they praying to this. Oh, but I thought you wasn't that. Oh, so you the kind of dude that you're a fair weather friend. You're a fair weather believer. You, as long as the heat ain't on, well, you know, I might think something else. I might think a little differently.
Right.
But when the wolves come calling, oh Lord, please, God, please don't let it happen.
Right.
Come on now.
Right.
Now that's
and you pride
think
yourself
about
in not being that?
Think about yourself as a friend. You know, think about yourself as a friend. Do you let your friend slide by like that? You'll talk about the homies like he ain't the real homie.
Right.
I was there. I helped him move. And all I had to do was move a little sofa from upstairs into my truck.
And
this fool wouldn't even come by and do it.
Yeah.
Fuck this fool.
Yeah.
Right? Now, do I pride myself? Do I fall short of that? Oh, I have fallen short. You know what I mean? Of the glory of the Lord. All I have fallen short, right? But do I pride myself in saying that I still am a Christian? Yes, because I could not feel good about relying on that in more of a time of need. Right?
Yeah.
I could not feel that good about that if right now, and I mean, look, I got plenty of things to pray about right now.
Yeah.
Right? But not as many things as if shots ring out. No, you can't have it both ways.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So does Abstract Rule believe in God? Yes. Am I on the soapbox? You know, am I in church every Sunday lighting the candles? No. But you know, I go to the big things. I go to the Easters, the Christmas programs. You know, I take my daughter to Vacation Bible School. I try to go when I can. I should go more. You know, I could admit all of my shortcomings, like within my faith. And there's a lot of like contradictions and duality in life all around. But then no one sin is greater than all the other sins and all those different things. And at the end of the day, it's a personal relationship that you have, you know, with the Creator. And, you know, all of us got to personally deal with that. You know, we can aid in each other's development and spiritual growth when we come together and things like that. That's why we shouldn't forsake ourselves, the union of coming together. But at the end of the day, it's still a personal relationship that, you know, we all have to like make right within ourselves and find within ourselves, you know, and it's a consciousness within ourselves. It's a God, within ourselves. You know what I mean? We are within the essence. The essence is us. And so it's like tuning into that and knowing that at the same time for me on a daily walk. But if you ask me that question, you know what I mean? There's no way I could say, there's a way that I could say I have, you know, experienced and come across, you know, other knowledge, and I have studied other things, plenty other things.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Read tons of stuff and heard tons of stuff by tons of scholars, gurus, ghetto philosophers, and, you know, come what may. And I've
come back to the Christianity.
Well, I've taken all this into account, but when the heat is on, I don't call on any of those things that they talked about.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Yeah. When my heart drops.
Yeah.
In a situation.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about, you know, the Kabbalah verse page, whatever.
Your instincts take you back to the God that you know.
Yeah, I'm not thinking about the fact that the alphabet we're speaking is a bastard language, and if you really break it down, this ain't really that, and really that, you know, I'm not thinking in that moment that I'm really sovereign in that, that I should take back my social security number, and, you know, and I'm not thinking in that moment that, you know, about some verse written, you know, in another language. Me personally, you see what I'm saying? Now, some people would argue that's because you were raised like that, so you got all these things. You need to like get away from that. Okay, well that's cool. You get away from it. See, because that is a personal thing. Yeah. So you get away from it. You know, I'm not judging you. You know what I mean? You lean on what you need to lean on to get through things in life. So the short answer is yes, I believe in God. And I was raised in a Baptist church. And you know, I can and I come from some smart people who didn't just take it for what it said and just take it for what the preacher said. They went and really scholarly learned it, broke it down. I mean, my mom and my uncle are like graduates of a very, you know, esteemed like Bible college.
And they put it to practice, which is the most important part.
Put it to practice. And here's another thing too. See, anything somebody is ever trying to tell you, you know, we all gonna struggle. And nobody's, I mean, I don't care how much money you got. You could come down with the health problem and be gone sooner than your time. Yeah,
we just heard about Scarab, right? Was it Scarab?
No. Well, yeah, Saphir, the homie Saphir, you know what I'm saying, is ill, and much respect to that brother right now. Yeah. But I mean, Steve Jobs passed
basically a couple months
earlier than he, you know what I mean? Then you would have thought you got all this money, maybe you could live forever. You know what I mean? And it's just, but what I was gonna say though is, for whatever somebody believes, that's cool. And you should see a manifestation in their life of that. You know what I'm saying? On some level, it should be a manifestation in your life. Yeah. You know what I mean?
And if it's what you're going for instinctively in situations of danger or depression or stuff, that has to count for something. So if they ask me if you believe, like, oh, I don't know, well then what happens in these situations? Are you praying or are you, cause there's no atheists in foxholes. You've heard that before. Right. Like when it's really happening, dude, you break down to your animalistic self, and every single person will pray, because I think it's the world cause I'm a Christian too, and I try to break down the way it works. And I've seen that it's the world that when you wake up, does its best to try to convince you that he does not exist. So it tries to put all these even reasonable thoughts in your mind, like reasonable, like, yes, I can see the fact. But at the end of the day, when it really comes down to your instincts, right, which is the only thing you have when you're about to fall asleep, right, when you know it's real. But when you wake up, the world tries to convince you so hard that it's not real, that he doesn't exist, that he doesn't love you, that it's not an ultimate ending, you know? And the world why does it have to try so hard if it wasn't real? See what I'm saying? So, I understand exactly what you mean, because I do the same, I go through the same thing, you know? I could be a better Christian, but I'm happy with the Christian that I am. And I'm very grateful to be a Christian. I find it soothing and relieving, and it gives me this therapeutic feeling, and I know I can go on, and it gives me strength in my moments of weakness. It's a beautiful thing. You know what I mean?
I mean, there's people who do lean on things and they apply that. Yeah. And you can see it. You can see the manifestation into their spirit and into their life.
If I did not have God by my side, I would not be here today. I guarantee it that.
There you go, brother.
Because my path has led me to every mistake, everything I've ever done had to have worked exactly for me to be sitting in front of Abstract Rude tonight. See what I'm saying? And that's just faith and understanding that he has my back. So this is going to work out because, it's just the way it's going to go. And my destiny is manifesting in front of me, and I'm going to take advantage of it, and blah, blah, blah. So good thing.
Yeah. And I mean, and by grace, you can come to that perspective. You know what I mean? I'm grateful to come from the tribe that I come from, to come from people that, that gave that to me. Yeah. But just, open the door for me to see it like for myself. It wasn't like beat into me, or yeah, sure, I had to go to church, but it became pretty evident that this was like a facility of love, and that the world was full of hate.
And that's what it's here for to do, to balance things out, and we gotten good at it. Round 11. Oh, last two. Hope you're ready. These are my uppercuts. All right, round 11. What is your biggest insecurity? What are you most insecure about?
My biggest insecurity would be, like with anybody else. Does anybody look at themselves in the mirror and just see this perfect person?
Kanye.
No. I mean, he had the jaw thing, right? And he was, he smashed his jaw at first, and he was, he talked about how he was insecure about that. I mean, so just physically, I ain't the buffest dude, I'm kind of skinny. Like, I'll really work out other than just like,
not
walks
out.
here. I mean, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Does exercise count? Like,
yeah, but there's not a bench press in your backyard or nothing either.
No,
you know what I'm saying? Like,
no,
you're just not like,
no,
you're not that dude.
No, but you know what? But when I'm on stage, I like own it because I'm zoned into the feeling of the thoughts that I'm conveying to people, or just the rhythm of the music, and I'm just up there feeling it. And I know that if they see me feeling it, it supersedes all that kind of stuff. So, I mean, like, everything that you want to make better physically about yourself, through whether it's through working out, diet, you know what I mean? Or if you're like, damn, is my hair getting too long? Is it hurting my neck?
Yeah.
Do I just look like a mop head walking around? Like, am I about to cut it again? And
you and the weekend got this thing popping here.
If I cut it, do I, I'm back to the like nappy fro stage, and am I gonna grow them back? And all those normal human things, man, all those normal.
But you wouldn't say you have one that's bigger than the other one.
Well, okay. Those are just physical insecure. I mean, you have to face people, and you have to go out. Like, you know what? My friend always says to me, she's like, I don't see how you could do it. I don't see how you could get out there and just, for one, memorize all this stuff, but then do it in front of all these people.
Yeah.
And she's like, either you have to be like the biggest ham, or just like block it out and be in the zone. And you know what? I mean, yes, it's a combination of those things. But I'm insecure about just like not having got my degree, from college, and don't want like my daughter to be like, oh, well, Dad, why didn't you go to college? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So then that makes me that puts more pressure on, having success through this shit.
Yeah.
Right. So I think that's a big insecurity, just outside of just like a physical one. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm with that. I like that. It's a good one. We laughed. We enjoyed ourselves. We cried. We had moments of clarity. We vented. We talked about the old days. We talked about the new days.
Oh, man.
We went through a lot together, bro. And I'm glad. And again, I have not been disappointed. I had an image of you, and the image is not broke. If anything, I'm just that more excited to get to know you in the future. I can't wait to see what it's going to be, where my life is not going to take me. Taking this meeting, I can already feel it I knew it was very important. I knew it. Something told me like, dude, don't miss it. This is going to be something, because this is the way it's going to happen for you. It's the meeting. Someone's going to call you. They're going to take notice because you worked so hard, and now here's your next step, So I'm glad we got that and sat down. you're more than welcome back on on this show specifically, whenever you like. We just want to get to know you guys on that basis. And the audience has been really receptive of it. And they're like, dude, please do this guy. Cause I've always wondered what Wax is like in real life or what Blank is like in real life. And the artists kind of see it. I think guys, they get it. They're like, okay, this is different. This is something that hasn't been done, right? So there's nothing more joyful for me to see them walk away and be like, dude, that shit was dope. Like that interview was amazing. Like I've never been asked that before. I've never been this. And that's what we aim for. I think with you, we got that.
Hey man, we did. We did. I enjoyed this thoroughly. Much respect. We right here at Align Gallery. And
our LA official LA home, by the way, people. We said that before. So it started with Sunspot, now it's here with Abs, and you're going to hear many, many Wake the Flock Up shows out of Align Gallery. Because it's, too? It's easier for me to be like, hey, Blank, we're in Orange County, but please come. To just be like, look, we're in LA, right down the street. Just take a right turn, let's make it happen. It'll be helpful. Before we get into the big announcement, round 12 with Abstract Rude. Why? Why?
Because somebody has to. And somebody has to uphold the bloodstained banner and then pass it on to other strong arms to, just to kind of like, to divide that load that everybody has to carry, you know what I mean? And make sure that it's proportioned the right way. Somebody has to do it. And, if you're a visionary and can do it, then it's your duty to do it. And you know what it is that you have to do, whatever is your lane, and don't be afraid to stay in your lane. And to do good what you do good. It's microwave society. Everybody wants everything right now. And that's cool, but the people telling you to go from 0 to 100 real quick didn't go there that fast. They had a lot of stages that they went through. And, so in a sense, that's lying to you. But hey, I'm not here to discourage you. And sometimes people like being sold dreams a lot of times because, most of the times because it's a way to get away. People in music has a bunch of different applications. Why? Because music has so many applications. So there's a bunch of different ones that I can use. So, I use ones to make you think. I use ones to make you party. I use ones to make you nostalgically feel the culture. I use ones to make you, do a combination of all those things maybe on a song. But music has more applications than that. And that's the thing that you have to realize as a person that does it. So that you don't let it drive you crazy. Where you could like leave it out there, and still go enjoy your life.
Yeah.
And then come back to it too. Because, musicians stay so immersed. We stay so immersed in our lives with this. But it is good to know how to just, leave it out there and still enjoy your life. So I'm here I'm here for a perspective from the fans as well as my peers and as well as like the culture, like continuing and enhancing and growing, and people just seeing certain like common sense realizations with how they can grow their scene and be actively involved with it and not saturated and things like that.
You're the champion. You got the bell, baby.
Hey, Pigeon John, just like my photo of the Wake the Flock Up.
Yeah.
Abstract Rude. official interview.
That is kind of dope
flyer. Yeah, that was tight, man.
Yeah, Pigeon John, dude. Meeting him was
big up, Pigeon. Much love, brother.
So amazing, dude. Like he was just like another dude that was just so like noble and like willing to share and just like open and knowledgeable. But Abstract, man, dude, it's been an absolute pleasure and honor, and we fulfilled a dream of mine. A childhood, not only to meet you, right? But now I got to know you, I feel. And there's going to be plenty of time to get to know you even better, for you to get to know me even better, to really kind of see where we're at, where we're going. Me and Abstract, I took the meeting today. I got a call, and they're like, come down to beautiful Outline Gallery here in, what was the address? I'm going to memorize the address and just drop it every time I get it.
5045 York Boulevard.
Boom. 5045. I was like, 5044 York Boulevard. Boom, LA. That's where I'm going. Okay, cool. And, we talked and we broke it down, and, me and Abstract Rude, can't even believe I'm saying it. Me and Abstract Rude, are going to get together, and we're going to build you another podcast. And we haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to call it the concept show in very small font. Abstract Rude at the bottom. Just because I think it'll work, bro. You know?
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
You heard it here first, folks.
Yep.
It's going down. A new show that's gonna be me and this man Concept right here, just chopping it up. We're gonna introduce topics right here at Outline Gallery, and just kind of go from topic to topic to topic.
Yep.
Giving our takes, chopping it up. It's going to be really interesting things. A lot of interesting friends of mine will come through. From time to time, we'll pull people off the street from right here at the gallery.
Yep.
And like, for the most part, we're not going to have any boundaries on what we might get into. But,
who we were going to sit with.
Or who.
Which is the beauty part, which I know what they're very excited right now they're hearing is like, oh, okay. And you guys know I've done all the booking from the show, my little old self. Now you guys imagine with Abstract Rude directly behind helping us to book these artists, we're going to get to that level that we've always dreamed of, my Wake the Flock Up audience. And it's because you guys supported it and you guys backed me up and you guys told your friends and got to the point where one day Abstract Rude got notice of this show and he said, this is something special and it's because of you guys. So I cannot thank you guys more than enough. I can't even wait to have the very first episode. Who we might sit with, maybe it's just us two, or maybe someone that just like, whoa, my audience is going to be blown away, you know?
Hey, I woke the flock up.
That's right, baby.
I woke the flock up, and now I'm here, y'all. I'm part of the flock, and it's going to be going down as soon as I get back from Canada.
Yep.
Around August, September.
And while you're out there I'm going to be doing the footwork for the new show, as in the flyers, the concept, the idea, the mentality, and it's going to all come out of here, Outline Gallery, 5045?
5045 York Boulevard, 5045 York Boulevard, Los Angeles, California, right in Highland Park, right on the beautiful York Strip.
And this is where it's going to come down. So look out for that. This summer, we're going to take over, baby. That's what we're going to do. Abstract, again, total pleasure and honor. Can't wait to see what the future has in store for us. The hip hop gods have aligned us together.
Oh, yes.
We're going to make it happen, baby.
Oh, yes. We are aligned.
So for Outline Gallery, for Battleaxe Warriors, for Zulu Nation, for Distorted Truth, for Abstract Rude, for real hip-hop everywhere. This is Concept 714 asking you, demanding that you help us.